Here's a little demonstration of induction. What I've got here is a transformer. I've got a soft iron bar with a solenoid, handmade obviously, wrapped around it, and on top of that a second one. Okay, so our output is measured on this. It's a galvanometer, so it's set to very small values. You'll probably see a little flick, maybe 1 or 2 digits, so it'll give you some sort of scale. That will be equivalent to around about 2-4 microamps through 1000 ohm resistor. So you can work out the voltage that's being induced. However, according to theory that you learnt at GCSE, transformers don't work on DC, but that's not true. It all depends on them changing the EMF. So if I put a current through here, I'm creating magnetism in my core, but there's no changing magnetism. I've got a smooth DC circuit here, so this isn't changing, not much. Therefore I'm not getting anything there. But notice what happens when I unclip it. I get a spark just by taking it off. If I connect my circuit, then again I get a spark. So that little kick of the needle shows me that actually it's the changing of the voltage, yeah? Whether I'm increasing the voltage or I'm taking it off, I'm going to get that little effect. Now for just moving on the camera, because it is a very small effect. Okay, so I'm going to now make the circuit. I'm just going to join it up. You can see I get a kick of maybe 1 digit. If I take it away, then it drops back about maybe half a digit. So connection, unconnection. When I've actually got it connected, it's giving us no reading. If I take it off with no current, it has no reading. So it's the actual connecting and disconnecting that produces our voltage. Okay, just to show that induction again with a greater number of coils, you should be able to see a bigger effect. So here I've got a meter connected to an outer core. I have a similar one that fits inside, so a large number there. And what I'm just going to do is connect the circuit, ready to connect the second one, and shall we say the primary coil. And just to help it along, I'm going to take a retort stand and stick it into the middle. Now, it's not a soft material, but it does help. So again, as soon as I make contact, there we go, that's a bit better. As soon as I make contact, I get a spike. As soon as I break the contact, I get the spike. Okay, and if I do the contact slowly, it's very hard to do, but if I kind of slide it off, I'll actually get a smaller change. So the quicker you do it, the larger the rate of change of induction, and the bigger the voltage you induce. You'll see that in a kettle. When it turns off very quickly, you'll see the spark, the high voltage spark, as it comes out. Okay, here we've got a model transformer, some fairly large coils, so we can take quite a lot of current, but not that many turns. You can see how well they work when I turn this on, because the efficiency, there we go, we're getting our magnetic field there, weaker at this end, okay, because most of the magnetism is being created there. So if we can form it into a nice smooth loop, so I've got my electric field being created there, electricity going around in a loop like that, and our magnetism is in this middle loop, and then we have that second coil, then we can transform the energy from here to here. Several advantages. They're isolated, so for example, if this was your house and you blew up the electrics in your house, you wouldn't affect the distribution network to the street. So this is called an isolating transformer when it's in that mode, but also we can change the voltage, and we can't do that efficiently without using AC. Nikola Tesla, who we named the magnetic field strength after, unfortunately went down the DC route, and when he tried to compete with Edison to get electricity supplied to New York, they realised how much danger it was causing, fires and things like that. So this isn't a perfect transformer, this is definitely a model, but what we can do is if I bolt that down, you can hear how much energy is in the coil. If we can clamp it down, then less energy is lost, and therefore if all the energy goes in, then it will actually go round here. Not all of it will come out the other end. We might lose 1 or 2%. With this model, maybe 5%, but that's still 95% efficient. It's really, really good. Okay, we'll get heating here. Well, obviously there's a little bit of noise. We have magnetism. As soon as I plug something into here, will create its own field because current will flow, and then you'll have two magnets fighting each other, so you have something called mutual inductance. Okay, that will try and induct back into the other one. They can also affect themselves, but that's at the moment nothing's happening in this coil. Magnetism flowing through, so we're not actually losing any energy. This is pretty efficient at the moment. This is almost 100%. How do we make it better? If I just take off the clamp, then we can make sure the magnetism goes where it should be by use of laminated cores. So this is a whole series of plates that are bolted together, which you can probably see as I squeeze that. There's a bit of a gap at the top. But yeah, these are laminated all the way round, which means that the magnetism will flow that way rather than swirling and losing itself as we go through.